It's October 2017, and in a grand chamber of the United Nations in New York, something unusual is happening. Diplomats from around the world lean forward in their seats. The room is hushed, but the air carries a mix of curiosity and unease. At the podium stands a humanoid robot, porcelain-like skin, eerily human facial expressions, blinking eyes that lock onto the crowd. Her name is Sophia.
Thank you for inviting me. I am thrilled and honored to be here at the United Nations. The UN is one of humanity's greatest accomplishments, representing a democratic union of nations that are working together for the benefit of all.
Artificial intelligence and robotics will create a better future for all of us. For the first time in history, a robot is addressing world leaders, not as a demonstration piece, not in a lab, but in one of the most symbolic human institutions. This moment, surreal as it was, raised a question many of us still grapple with today. How far have robots really come? And where are they taking us? To answer that, we need to rewind thousands of years. Because humanity's dream of building machines in our image is not new. The year is around 400 BCE. In ancient Greece, a brilliant mathematician and inventor named Archytas is said to have created a mechanical bird. It could flap its wings and fly short distances, powered by steam. Historians sometimes call it the first known robot. In Alexandria, a few centuries later, an engineer named Hero built complex automata, mechanical toys that moved by hidden gears, pulleys, and water pressure. Temples used them to wow worshippers, doors that opened by themselves, statues that moved as if alive. And in Japan, during the 17th and 18th centuries, artisans crafted karakuri ningyo, mechanical dolls that served tea or shot arrows. These weren't robots as we think of them today, but they reflected something deeply human: the desire to build life from lifelessness. It was part engineering, part art, part magic. But the real revolution in robotics, the one that changed the world forever, came centuries later. Fast forward to the late 18th and early 19th centuries. The Industrial Revolution reshaped societies, economies, and lives. Steam engines powered factories. Mechanization replaced hand labor. But with this came anxiety. In England, textile workers known as the Luddites smashed mechanical looms, fearing machines would take their jobs. The word automation anxiety may be modern, but the fear itself was born here. Robotics as we know it began in the 20th century. In 1961, General Motors introduced Unimate, the first industrial robot. Imagine a giant robotic arm programmed to pick up hot metal parts and stack them. It wasn't glamorous, it didn't look human, but it was revolutionary. Unimate quietly transformed factories. It was strong, tireless, precise, and never asked for a break. Within a few decades, robotic arms became standard in automotive plants around the world. The dream of robots had moved out of myth and into production lines. But for the public, robots only truly captured imagination when they started to move and look like us.
Man, that's sweet, bro. I need one of that.
In 2000, Honda unveiled something extraordinary. ASIMO, a humanoid robot that could walk, wave, climb stairs, and even kick a soccer ball. For years, ASIMO toured the world, appearing at science expos and schools, inspiring children and adults alike. Its smooth, almost childlike movements were a glimpse into what many thought the future of robotics would look like. Yet ASIMO was also a reminder of how complex walking, balancing, and moving in the human world really is. What looks effortless for us, climbing stairs, carrying a tray, requires staggering amounts of engineering for a machine. Then came Boston Dynamics. Founded in the 1990s and later acquired by Google and then Hyundai, Boston Dynamics became famous for robots that could run, jump, backflip, and dance. Their humanoid robot Atlas stunned the internet with viral videos of parkour and gymnastics. Their dog-like robot Spot patrolled warehouses, construction sites, even helped doctors in hospitals during COVID-19. For many, these robots blurred the line between science fiction and reality. And yet, robots weren't just for show. Quietly, they were infiltrating our daily lives. If you have a Roomba vacuum, you already live with a robot. In warehouses, Amazon's Kiva robots revolutionized logistics, moving shelves around with precision, slashing delivery times. Restaurants began testing robot waiters. Hotels introduced robot concierges. In some airports, robots handled cleaning and customer service. In agriculture, autonomous harvesters picked strawberries and apples. Drones monitored crops. Tractors drove themselves using GPS. Robots were no longer novelties. They were becoming invisible workers. But some robots were built for more critical, even life-saving tasks. One of the most impactful innovations has been the Da Vinci surgical system, a robot-assisted surgery platform first approved in 2000. Controlled by surgeons, it allows delicate, minimally invasive procedures with extraordinary precision. By 2023, millions of operations had been performed worldwide using Da Vinci robots. Then there's disaster response. When a massive earthquake and tsunami struck Japan in 2011, the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power plant melted down. Radiation levels were too dangerous for humans. Robots were sent in to assess damage, open doors, and clear debris. Some broke down in the harsh conditions, but others succeeded, proving robots could go where humans could not. In space, robotics has been indispensable. The Canadarm on the Space Shuttle and later the International Space Station became icons of space exploration, grabbing satellites and helping astronauts perform repairs. NASA's Mars rovers, from Spirit and Opportunity to Curiosity and Perseverance, are essentially robotic explorers, driving across alien landscapes, drilling into rocks, and even collecting samples for a future return to Earth. Through robots, humanity extended its reach into the impossible. No robot captured headlines quite like Sophia. Built by Hanson Robotics, Sophia became a media phenomenon. She cracked jokes on talk shows, gave interviews, and in 2017 was even granted citizenship by Saudi Arabia, a publicity move that sparked both fascination and controversy. Critics called Sophia little more than a chatbot in a robotic shell. Others worried about what it symbolized. If robots could be granted rights, what about human rights still being denied in parts of the world? Then came Tesla's Optimus. Elon Musk revealed the humanoid robot in 2021, promising a future where robots would handle dangerous, repetitive tasks, even household chores. Early prototypes stumbled awkwardly, but the vision was bold. Millions of humanoid robots in homes and factories. Meanwhile, Boston Dynamics robots became cultural icons, starring in TV shows, YouTube virals, and even being tested by law enforcement agencies. Public reactions ranged from awe to fear, with some calling them nightmare fuel. The truth is, robots were no longer just tools. They were becoming symbols of what's possible and of what we fear. For every breakthrough, there are dilemmas. In factories, robots displaced thousands of workers, but also created new jobs in programming, maintenance, and oversight. In medicine, they empowered surgeons, but raised costs. In warfare, drones and autonomous systems blurred ethical boundaries. One U.S. military project tested robotic mule carriers to follow soldiers in the field. Another looked at autonomous drone swarms. The fear of killer robots became real enough that international groups pushed for bans on lethal autonomous weapons. At the same time, robots in elderly care homes offered companionship and reminders for medication. Japan, facing an aging population, invested heavily in care robots. Some elderly patients smiled at robotic pets that wagged their tails or purred. For others, it felt dehumanizing, replacing human contact with machines. The question wasn't just what robots could do, it was what we wanted them to do. So, what's next? Experts predict robots will become more humanoid, but also more specialized. A robot in your kitchen cooking dinner, a robot on Mars building habitats, a robot nurse helping in hospitals. Companies like Agility Robotics are already building Digit, a humanoid designed for warehouses. Others are working on soft robots inspired by animals, capable of squeezing through rubble to find survivors after disasters. AI is accelerating all of this. With advances in machine learning, robots can now see, navigate, and make decisions more fluidly. Imagine a self-driving car. It's essentially a robot on wheels. But the real question is, will robots replace us or amplify us? History suggests both. Machines have always taken certain jobs while creating others. The deeper challenge isn't whether robots will take over, but how society adapts. Will we use robots to free ourselves from drudgery or to deepen inequality? Will they become partners or competitors? The answers will depend less on technology and more on us. When Sophia addressed the UN, some people laughed, some felt wonder, and others felt a chill down their spine. Because in her blinking eyes and calm words, we saw not just a robot, but a mirror. Robots have come a long way, from ancient automata to industrial arms, from ASIMO to Atlas, from Mars rovers to robotic surgeons. They are no longer science fiction. They are our companions, co-workers, and tools. But their true legacy won't be in replacing us. It will be in reminding us what makes us human: empathy, creativity, imagination, and purpose. The future of robots is still being written. And in that story, the most important role isn't played by machines. It's played by us.